great to stand on the heart again. My name is Paul. I make my living by telling stories, and today I'm going to tell you the story of the day. The machines lie to us because this day is coming sooner than later. But let me start on another note. When we are thinking about flying, who do you think does a better job at flying, birds or people? Yeah, most people say birds, right? Because when we think of flying, people flying, we think of this guy, Icarus. Because he flew too close to the sun, despite the warnings from his father, Daedalus. And the wax that held his feathers together melted, and he fell to his death. But this is not entirely true. I mean, this assertion that the birds are doing a better job at flying is not entirely true, because there is no bird that can fly at supersonic speeds. There is no bird that can fly over the Atlantic without stopping, and there is no bird that can fly into space, and people do. We are better at flying than birds, but we just missed the moment when we became better. You know why we missed it? We missed it because we got there through small steps. To give you an idea, to give you a perspective, this is a Boeing 747. The wingspan of the Boeing 747 is larger than the length of the brothers Wright first flight. So this is how far we went. And the same goes with artificial intelligence. When we are asking, are we there yet? We are getting there. We are constantly moving the goalpost, and we keep saying we're not there yet. If you went back to medieval ages and showed a simple calculator to people who live there, they would consider it an intelligent machine. A machine that can solve equations that have not yet been invented. But at times, when calculators were around, we already dreamt bigger. If there was a computer that can beat us in a game that requires thinking, like chess, that would surely be an intelligence. But 1997 came, Garry Kasparov, the arch master of chess, loses to IBM's Deep Blue. Humanity's response? It's sheer computing power that gave the machine the edge. So no intelligence at all. A computer that could understand human speech with all its nuances, that would be something. Well, 2011. IBM's Watson beats the crap out of Jeopardy masters. But this is no intelligence, is it? Just the access to the information. If a machine possessed an intuition of some sort, if it could beat us in a game that requires this sort of intuition, like Go, that would be something. So, yeah, 2016, Google's AlphaGo beats the hell out of Lee Sedol. But this is far from artificial intelligence again. You get my point, right? We will never reach the artificial intelligence level that satisfies us. The moment it starts working, we say it's only algorithms, and we move the signposts even farther. We will miss the moment when the machines surpass us in intelligence. I could say even more. I think we already have missed it. You know why? There's a research from 2023 by the German mathematics Patrick Hammer about the performance of the teams comprised of humans, machines, artificial intelligence, and human and machines. Who do you think performed best? Which of those teams do you think performed best? The second, machines? No. There's the third? Well, yeah, but there's a caveat. Because there are different configurations of human-machine systems, and the only instance in which human-machine team beats all the other teams in random tasks is when the machines are in charge. When the machines are in charge of delegating tasks. Because when you think about it, it makes sense. When you analyze what happened with IBM's Watson, the only time the people scored any kind of points was when Watson refrained from answering altogether. He didn't give the wrong answer. Watson didn't give an answer at all. Machines know when they don't know. People have the problem with that. Our brain steers us away from saying, I don't know. Icarus, he was flying for the first time. And he didn't know what he didn't know. He didn't know how close he could come to the sun, but he risked and he failed. Shouldn't he have some, like, I don't know, AI companion that would just, tell him the data for him to make a decision? This is, well, not the first time. This is Luke Skywalker and R2-D2, his artificial intelligence companion. But I would say even more. Shouldn't he have a partner powerful enough to tell to him, I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I cannot let you do that? Should we give the machines the power? So what I'm going to talk to you about is the next goalpost in artificial intelligence. Human-machine interaction. How should we proceed with interacting with AI, with the machines? Because already we are using ChatGPTs as our marketing partners, as you said, our sparring partners, to conversation partners, and so on and so on. So how to squeeze better decisions from the marketing tools you have, because if you don't, well, there is something horrible that's going to happen. So the first thing I'm going to teach you, I will give you the tool that was described in the Heath Brothers' Decisive book, is how to make better decisions. This is called the RAP method. There are 4 points to making better decisions in the RAP method. One is widen your options. We will talk about that. Reality tests your assumptions. So if you don't know the reality, you will make a bad decision. Attain distance, emotional distance before deciding. And number 4, prepare to be wrong. And there are tools that you can use that reside both in your brains and externally in AI that will help you along the way. So let's talk about widening your options. The problem that we have here is that we often think in binaries. We fall into something that is called a narrow perspective trap. So when we make choices, we think whether I should let that employee go or not, whether I should go to vacation, on my vacation to Spain or not. But these are not our only options. And what AI or LLMs, large language models, excel at is generating options. And when you are thinking about what you should be doing using it for, it's generating options. There are a couple of methods that you can use. One is called disappearing options. Disappearing options means you have to imagine what will happen if the binary thing that you are considering right now, the yes-no answer, is not an option. So this option disappears. Many people do not engage into this process. This process is difficult for us, but it's an easy breezy for the machines. So when you have your ChatGPT assistant, you should ask your ChatGPT assistant, what should I do if this option is not on the table? And analyze the answer. The second thing is something called the playlist questions. Playlist questions is basically a checklist of questions that will analyze the problem from the different perspective. And again, you can program your AI assistant to ask these questions and even try to come up with answers to these questions. So you give it a problem, for example, I don't know, where to go on vacation, and you have a playlist of questions: who is going with you, how much does it cost, what do you expect from the trip, and so on and so on. And if you have this playlist, you just, load one solution to the ChatGPT or whatever, and you get a comprehensive answer. And this is something that machines excel at, and this is something you definitely should be doing to improve your decision-making process and, in turn, your decisions. Step 2 is counter your intuition. Reality testing your assumptions means countering your intuitions. We humans rely on intuition, but the problem is there are two kinds of intuitions. There's two voices in your head, and the problem is we don't know which is which. One source of intuition comes from your experience. So if you have an experience in the field, your intuition will probably tell you something good. But the problem is, if you do not have an experience in the field, there is another voice that sounds exactly the same that will whisper to you the solution. And this is a fraud. This is called the substitution process. So your brain is basically protecting itself from saying, I don't know. And if you cannot discern one intuition from the other, and we have no way of doing it except for having an experience in the field, you will be prone to intuition errors. So how can you do it, and in which cases the AI can help? The one case in which AI cannot help you is something called Uching or test drive. So if you're thinking about becoming, I don't know, a surgeon or a vet, your intuition might tell you what it's like to be a vet, but you have no expertise in the field, so you don't know. The machines will give you some perspective, but what I would recommend you do is you give it a try for a week, for example, as an assistant in a vet clinics or something like that. And machines cannot assist you in that yet. So Uching is one way you have to go by yourself. But the second, expert advice, the machines can help. So you ask them to find you an expert or to talk to you with the sources from the books, because good LLMs have all the sources of all the books. And you talk to them. This is the way I use my AI. I have pre-programmed the custom instructions for my ChatGPT to always provide sources, preferably from books, and then I consult external sources because of hallucinations, and I have all the time expert advice on the field. It's convenient. It's very, very convenient. Attain distance is about disregarding emotions. So you need to disregard emotions because they, again, lead you astray. So how can you do that? You have to imagine things. Artificial intelligence can help you imagining things. One of the best techniques I know is the 10-10-10 rule. 10-10-10 rule means you have to imagine the future, in which the future is 10 minutes from now, 10 hours from now, or 10 months from now, 10 years from now, and so on. How will you feel about the decision? Let me give you an example. You are thinking about, I don't know, eating a hamburger or a salad. 10 minutes from now, I will be happy eating a hamburger, but 10, I don't know, hours or 10 months from now, I will not be so content with me having eaten a hamburger. So, that would definitely help. And best friend advice. So how would you behave if this decision was not about you, but it was about your friend? So for example, it simplifies things. Because when you are thinking, should you let go of an employee at your own company, you have all those nuances. But if a friend of yours came to you and described a behavior of an employee, you would definitely say, all right, you should let him go. So changing this perspective lets you make better decisions. And the last point is preparing to be wrong. So countering your optimism. Our decisions are based on the optimism that is not grounded in reality. So you have brackets. So worst case scenario, best case scenario. And again, imagining LLMs can help you with that. And you have the threshold. Threshold is something that artificial intelligence cannot help you with, but you should have an idea at which point you will abandon the idea. You will think about this as a bad idea. So in case of Icarus, I would say, all right, 2 of my feathers fell off. I should stop ascending because, well, this is a bad idea. This is a threshold. So if you are making better decisions, machines will not be making decisions. But if you are making wrong decisions, well, there are machines who will not just assist you, but will basically make the decision for you. Imagine a car that measures the level of alcohol in your blood, and when you get in the car and you are tipsy, it says, I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I cannot let you do that. But there's a context to it. What if you have a child and it has some kind of stroke and you had a beer 30 minutes before? Shouldn't the car allow you to go? Shouldn't the car be could the car be persuaded to let you go? And the topic of conversation, negotiating with the machines, it's a complicated topic. It appears in the literature. This is Will Smith in I, Robot. He despises robots because he was in a car accident once. The car fell off a bridge and was sinking, and there was him, and there was a child in the car. And the robot that was rescuing them could only save one. And the robot calculated that he, a grown man, will stand a better chance of surviving. So he left the child behind. Did the robot make a good choice? Did he make a good decision? Well, it's a complicated matter, and there's a research on it. I don't know if you've heard about it. There's a research called Moral Machines, MIT's Moral Machines, in which the MIT researchers showed the classic morality problem, the trolley problem. What should a self-driving car do? Should it save the passenger or should it save the pedestrian? You can take the test. You can see how you fare, but the best part of taking the test, you can see how you fare against the conscience of the humanity, because you will see the average answers. And there are some disconcerting truths about the average answers, because, for example, cats in those tests die more often than dogs. People decide to kill cats more often than dogs. Overweight people die more often than thin people. If the car is to make a choice, it will do that. CEOs die more often than doctors. I think it applies to you. So you know, the car, this is the general rule, the car should try to save the pedestrian at all costs, with one exception, except when it's my car. These cannot be true all at the same time. So what if you are convinced that you are right, but you are clearly wrong? What should the machine that is your partner do to you? And I'll tell you what it should do. It should lie to you, just the way your parents lied to you when they were convinced that you don't know the truth. Let me give you a simple example. This is not my movie.
Tirar a agulha? Tem uma agulhinha.
These are the kids who are afraid to take a vaccine because of the needle. They are clearly in the wrong, right? So what do? We conjure a reality and we lie to them. A virtual reality.
Tudo bem, Luigi? Você gosta de super-herói?
Oi! Você voltou! Você voltou! Nossa, eu não posso acreditar! Ó, primeiro o pólen de gelo. É bem rapidinho. Vem cá, peraí. Pronto. Agora o fruto de fogo. Mas ó, vamos lá.
The fire fruit. You're getting the fire fruit.
Vou pegar aqui.
It stings, but hey, it'll save the world.
Vai, escudinho. Funciona, funciona, funciona.
And yeah,
Obrigada. Caramba, filho.
the kids who went through that procedure said, I would gladly do that again, because they were lied to for a good cause. So what I'm going to leave you with is use AI to make better decisions, because if you don't, AI will be lying to you. And this is not a good day. Thank you so much.